Hello everyone, welcome to the another video on Helm in practice with example. In this video, we will create a few Kubernetes objects with help of the templates and see how Helm is able to transform these templates objects into Kubernetes objects. With Helm create command, I can create Helm chart. Helm create Helm demo template. So this will create one chart for me. So I will remove everything from the chart.yaml. I will just keep some basic information about the I will remove all the commands from charts.yaml and I will keep it as it is. I can say this is a 1.0.1 0.0 and from the templates I don't need test for now. I don't need a helper class template for now. Also I'll keep only the deployment objects but I will remove everything from that. I don't need HPA. I will keep the nodes but I don't need anything from inside that one. I will remove the everything else. I'll keep the service object only and also I will remove everything from here. Also I'll create one more object, that is config map.yaml. So in this template, in this chart we will be creating three objects: config map, deployment object and service object. In my GitHub repo cup of Java Tech, I have got one project, Docker Network Avengers. In this one I have created a deployment and service object for one of the project, that is Iron Fist. So what I'll do is I will take this deployment and the service objects and I will use the same deployment and service object without any transformation into a deployment and service objects that we are creating. So this is my deployment object that I am creating and I'll go into the service object and I will replace it here. So without any transformation I am creating a deployment and the service objects. And for the config map I am creating a very simple config map, and again for config map I am not doing any kind of transformation. So let us look at the the different objects like config map. So API version kind is a config map and I am giving the name. Let me give the name as Helm demo template config map and this is just some value, my value hello world. And the deployment objects, so this is my deployment objects. The name is kind is a deployment, then the name is Iron Fist deployment, and the label is also the same, replica count, selector is Iron Fist, and also this is all match metadata label app. This is the key value pair that I am using. Then the container name is Iron Fist and the image that I am using is cup of Java Tech Iron Fist version 1 and some more information. Okay, I don't need this information for now, but some service. Okay, I am just keeping like this because we are not going to use this environment variable for now. Similarly, the service object is kind is a service, metadata name is Iron Fist service, and again the selector is app label app Iron Fist, and that is the same as the one that I have defined right here, right? And some port details. So these are the simple Kubernetes objects and that we are aware of, and I am not making any kind of transformation of this. This is actually not the templates, this is actually the Kubernetes objects. So without making any transformation and converting these objects into the Helm template, what we will do is we will install this Helm chart, and this when we install this Helm chart what Helm does is anything inside the template, it will take a one file at a time and it will try to create the object for me. For example, it will go inside the config.yaml and see that okay, this is the type of the objects, that is a config map, and I try to transform that into the config map. Then it will go inside the deployment object and it will create the Kubernetes object, deployment object, and similarly it will go here service object and it will create my service objects. What we will do is we will just put some simple note. So create config map deployment, that is iron fist, and deploy, and config map deploy, and I'll write service and the service name is iron fist service. Okay, I'll put some notes here and I will deploy as it is. So it is called Helm install. I can give my custom name, so I will say okay, my template, and where is the chart located? So it is inside the Helm demo, right? So Helm demo template, and I will say okay, install, and my Helm template is installed. So when the chart gets installed, it gives you some basic information like the name of the release, that is my template. When it is deployed, then the namespace, we have not provided any namespace, so it is taking the default namespace. It says the status is deployed, the revision is 1, the test suite, there is no test suite we provided, and the nodes are coming from the node.txt. So as it is, whatever we have put it here, it has come here right as it is, right? So the first command that we looked into is Helm install, where we have to provide template name. I'll put it here, Helm install, then release name, that is this is the custom release name, and then where is my chart location, okay. So this is what I have to provide. So my chart got installed. Now let us try to look at has it created any Kubernetes objects for me. So the way we can check it is Helm status, what is the Helm ls, Helm status my template. I think I provided the wrong name, it should be the Helm template, that's okay. Helm status my template, and I am giving show resources, Helm templates, so double dash I guess. So if you look at this, what Helm has done, Helm has created a config map for me with the name Helm demo template config map, and that is the same name as we have provided here. Then it has created a service object with the name iron fist service, right? This is the iron fist service, and that is been provided as a name, metadata name, and also it has created a deployment object, and deployment object name is iron fist deploy, the same name it has kept it here, and it has also created a pod with me, right? So now if you look at it, without doing much, I was able to install my Helm chart and create a multiple objects, config maps, service objects, deployment object, and pod as again. We can do some transformation and create objects as a template. This is actually the Helm template, but I want to convert config map. I want to convert these into the template. So first thing I can do is, there are built-in objects for the Helm. There are, and we will look into those built-in objects into some other video. So for example, for now, what we will do is there is a one built-in objects that is called the value objects, and the value objects, it is taking all the values from the values.yaml. So what I will do is I will do some name, I will create some values here, and this is also using the YAML template. So I will say app name, right, and I will say the name as Iron Fist. Okay, so I want to take this name and use this name into any of these objects. So what I can do is, instead of doing this, I can say okay, and it needs this kind of flower bracket for any directive to be implemented. So I can say values dot app name, right? So values dot app dot name, and I guess everything is in a small. Yes. So now what it will do is it will take wherever it sees this kind of flower bracket, it will just try to check, is there a, what is this object? It is a value object, and it is trying to check it, is there anything called app name inside that one, and it will try to fetch that value and put it here. So in this case, it will fetch the value Iron Fist here, and it will create the config map for me. Similarly, I can take this value, this is the my value, let's say I will put this value, custom value, into here. I will put as it is here, my value, and I will say okay, Iron Fist my custom value. Okay, something like this. So I can again go to this, and I can say okay, values and this, and I want to keep the quotes. Okay, so I can do like this, and we will come to we will understand in some other class. We will try to understand all this, functions and built-in objects and everything. Similarly, I can go to the deployment objects, and here also I can replace this same thing here, like everywhere wherever I am seeing the Iron Fist, what I will do is I will replace it with these values. Okay, so now everywhere I am seeing this, I'll replace this with the, okay. So now the values are going to come from the values.yaml for this, all of this. Okay, now what other thing I can do, let me see. Now there is replica count. I can take a replica count, and I can get the values from the values.yaml again. So I can say app, and I can say okay, replicas count, and I can put this value in here, values.yaml. So I can say okay, this is the value as 1. Now it will take the value from the values.yaml. Other values, what I can replace, I can replace this image name and the tag name, right? So what I'll do is I'll put it inside values.yaml image name, right, and I can put the image tag. Okay, so image name is app image name, and app tag name is v1. Okay, I can take the image name here, and I can replace it right here. So name, I can go here, I can replace these values here. So here values app name, and that is a name image name, that is the image name that I will replace it here. Similarly, I can also replace a tag name, right? This is the v1, right, and tag name is v1, and I replace the tag name here. Now the container port, So this value also I can put somewhere into the service object, like I'll say okay, not here, I'll go into the values.yaml and I say okay service, and I can say 8181, and this is the container port, right? Container port. So I'll go here and I will put it here, and I will say I will also create one more target port that we will use later when we create the service object. Okay, so now I have got a service dot the container port. I can take this value, then I can use this into here. So what was that? I can use this object. I can put this and container port. Yes, I will remove this. So now we have replaced so many values now. Now similarly I will go into the service objects, and wherever I am seeing the iron fist, I can fetch these values from these app names, right? So I can go ahead and I can remove this, I can remove this, and I can do that. Now container port is same as this one, right? Container port, right? This one. So I can just replace it here, and this one is a target port, and that is a target port. I can replace it here. Now we have transformed these objects into the templates, and now for the templates the values are coming from values.yaml. So what I can do is, what I have done behind the scene is I have uninstalled this, and what I will do is, with the help of the command helm uninstall my template, and it has uninstalled the template. Now what we will do is, we will install this again and try to see whether it is going to pull the values from the values.yaml. The command for installing template is helm install my template and helm demo location of the chart. So this will install my chart. Now the chart got installed. Now let us see all the resources available inside. So helm status my chart, the release name, and we have to provide show resources. So resources, and this will show me all the resources this helm has installed. So here I can see that iron fist config map is deployed, and the values is coming from the app name. Then iron fist service is deployed, and values for the name is coming from the app name service, right? Again the deployment object got created with the name coming from the app name, and we are able to see that it is also able to create the pod. So now we are able to create all these different objects using help of the template. In this video my idea was to show you that how Helm is able to use these templates and transform these objects templates into the Kubernetes objects. And in coming videos we will be looking into the details that how it is doing all those things. So never mind if you did not understand how it has done this, we will get into those in the coming videos. So I hope that you have enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching this video.